And hello and good evening and welcome to the Queen's Table. I can't believe again it's Thursday night, 7:30. So hello everybody. So tonight we have got a very special guest. Hello Katrina Hodge, Ms. Great Britain finalist. How are you?
Hi, I'm really good, thank you.
Oh, it's an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. I must admit, I can't believe we were talking about you coming on a while ago, and here we are. It seems to have just flown by this year, doesn't it?
Yeah, I remember you saying, oh, I haven't got a slot until the 28th of January. And I was like, oh, that's months away. And then here we are.
I know it's certainly flying by this year, isn't it? So no, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and I'm really looking forward to speaking with you tonight. As always, anyone watching, please put your comments in the boxes and put your comments in. We can ask Katrina any questions you like. So please do that during this interview. So let's get started. So can you tell me a little about you being about a soldier in the army? Because this is fascinating me, and I just really want to hear a little bit about this story.
Yeah, so back when I was 17, I remember I was watching, at the time I went to performing arts school, and I was watching an advert, TV at home with my brother, and an advert came on about the army, and he was in the army at the time. And I said, your job's easy, really, isn't it? And he was like, you'd never be able to do it. And if someone tells me I can't do something, I have to set all out to prove them wrong. So off I trotted to the Army Careers Centre. And 12 years later, I did tours of Iraq, absolutely loved it. What I loved more was, as a career, whenever I met people would always say to me, oh my God, you're far too girly to be in the army. And I kind of liked that it was changed that stereotype, because who wrote the rule book to say how you had to look to be in the army? And so I've used a lot of my pageant career to promote the forces or challenging stereotypes as a fantastic career to women out there. I got a nickname off the back of it. Used to have blonde hair. This is dyed. Badly during lockdown as well. But I used to have blonde hair, so I used to get called Combat Barbie all the time, because when I arrived for basic training, I had pink suitcases, kitten heels, a pink coat on, and I tottered across the parade square. And I just remember someone shouting, oh my God, lads, Combat Barbie's arrived. And that was it. That was my nickname then.
That's amazing. So that's absolutely awesome. That is just brilliant, because obviously it must have been very different for them. They probably weren't used to someone coming up and just being all pink and proper girly, but that's what the amazing thing is about it. You prove that you don't have to just be a stereotypical, like, not wearing pink and doing all that. You've just been yourself, and that's what an amazing thing is about it, isn't it? So you got your nickname Combat Barbie from the moment you walked in. Then I could just see a little picture of you there. Wow, that's incredible. This is absolutely incredible. So what actually made you get into the army then? So you got into the army by what you've just said, but what was your real passion to join the army?
Just to prove someone wrong. I actually had no intentions of joining. Literally, I had no intentions of joining. So I applied, and you can go and do the selection. And first of all, I wanted to do the selection to go see I could get into the army. And then my brother said to me, but you wouldn't be able to pass basic training. And because I was under 18, you can join, do the 12 weeks basic training, and then at the end of it say, this isn't for me. And that was my plan. I had nothing to do over the summer holidays from my performing arts college. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to go to the army for the summer. 5 weeks, it did take a few weeks, but by about 4 or 5 weeks, I knew it was the career for me. I loved every minute about it, from getting muddy, throwing myself across assault courses, joining the army. I will say at 17, it made me grow up massively. For me, I think what hit home that I was actually in the army, you hear all about Iraq, Afghanistan and things, but I finished all my training, and 2 days after my 18th birthday, I had to fly to Iraq. And suddenly it hits you that this is real, and this is real life. I'm not just playing soldiers anymore. So I had to, whilst all my friends were out clubbing and things, I had to grow up massively, because I was basically getting shot at. I shouldn't laugh, but it's a nervous laugh.
Yeah, that's quite an incredible thing to do. And also, I mean, you must have felt, I mean, it's a really big thing, isn't it? Because obviously at that age, a lot of people are like, going and clubbing and doing completely different things. So it would make you grow up very quick. So hello, Abigail Hill. She's got a question for you. If you could go back in time and give 17-year-old Katrina any advice, what would it be?
Yeah, I think it would just be to believe in yourself and not care. I've never cared what anyone thinks about me, but sometimes I have done things to prove a point to people, and actually it's only you that matters. You don't need to worry about other people's opinions. And I think through my life at points, I think like most women, you can't help but be self-conscious. And I often do panic about other people when actually I should be panicking about myself, because it's think about you and your lane, what you're in.
This is it. I mean, I must admit, even for people like myself, when I was younger, you worry about what people think. Well, you might think, oh, I'll do this for this reason. But I do find as you get older, you just don't care. So you just enjoy life. Yeah, you just don't care. So, sorry, just lost a little bit of signal there, so you just went a bit blurry. But okay, the other thing that I've been seeing you doing lately is you have been running and walking, and you're going to be doing 874 miles in 90 days. How is that going? That's incredible.
Yeah, sort of rewinding a bit, I have done pageants before 12 years ago, and I decided by doing a pageant again that I wanted to set myself a charity challenge, and I didn't want to just do a bake sale or something like that. And for me, competing in a pageant again, it's not always about winning. So it's about, I'm going to sound really cliche, but it is about the journey and getting there. And trust me, I am not army fit anymore. I think everyone thinks, oh God, she was in the army for 12 years. She must be super fit. I've been out the army for 5 years. I've put on 5 stone. Meet Dave, my double chin. I do call him Dave.
Yeah, we were talking about Dave earlier.
I just thought to myself, I need to have something with a goal, with a clear purpose. And so actually competing, it's not about winning, it's about the journey for me. And I hate that cliche line, but I am going to say it. And so I decided to set myself a ridiculous challenge. And if I'm honest, I didn't realise it was going to be as tough as it was. So I'm virtually walking from Land's End all the way to John O'Groats in Scotland. When I first entered, I decided I was going to do it, the 874 miles. It was going to take me a year. But on my first day, I decided to push myself, because I thought, right, if it rains or snows, I need to be able to make some miles up so that I can have days off. So my first day, I went out and did a 10-mile walk. And then somehow the next day I went out and did a 10-mile walk. Trust me, I was aching, but I just kept going and doing these 10-mile walks. And then I thought, hang on a sec, I'm onto something. If I keep doing 10 miles a day, I can get this over and done with. And so I decided to set myself, a goal to do it in 90 days, because if you do it in 90 days, you get a gold medal. And I'm competitive and I want that little bit of bling just to say I've done it. So come rain, if anybody's followed my page, I have an Instagram page where I blog about it daily. I don't look like this when I'm blogging about it. I have to apologise sometimes and go, sorry about the state of me, guys, because I go on with my hair in a bun. But yeah, I walk come rain or shine. There's something about it. Every time I've gone walking, it starts raining, it's snowing, it's just the most hideous weather. I've had to invest in a treadmill because doing 10 miles was becoming a little bit hard in the cold. But I just have to force myself to do it every single day. And I'm loving it. And slowly, I mean, those that have been following my journey will have known that Dave was a little bit bigger at the start of this, and he is starting to go. He's not had his full eviction notice yet, but I'm hoping by the time I compete in September, because the judges look up at you as well. So I'm really hoping that Dave goes.
That's amazing. Oh, that's awesome, but such a great achievement. Okay, so Lauren Parkinson has just popped up and she says, what's been one of the most important life lessons you've learned?
Have no regrets. So I always do everything. I'm one of these people in life that I jump in two-footed to everything, which can be to my detriment sometimes, because I just decide on something and I do it and I'm jumping in. And that's, to be honest, how I've ended up in pageants, how I somehow ended up in the army, just all of my life. But have no regrets. So don't think, oh, I wish I could have done that. just do it. There's nobody stopping you. You know, I'm in my mid-30s and here I am competing in a pageant again. You know, I was nervous about telling people that I was going to be doing it again, because I sort of thought people would say, God, Kat, give it up. You know, you've had your moment, you've had your heyday. But I didn't want to have any regrets. And in 10 years' time, I didn't want to look back and go, oh, I wish I'd entered that competition. Have no regrets. Just go for it and do you.
That's it. I mean, it's such an important statement that you know, just have no regrets. And it's like, I mean, I didn't start pageants until I was in my late 30s, and I think you just got to go for these things. You just got to think, actually, you know, why not? There's no reason why you can't. You know, life's too short. You just got to live it and just do what you want to do, haven't you? So, you know, yes. Oh, we just had a comment from Megan, and she says, "Woo, yes, Kat." So that's fabulous.
Megan's one of my lovely girls. I used to be a director of a pageant, and she was one of my, we call them Team Cat, so one of the girls that was in my competition.
Oh, that's lovely. So I've got another question from Kirsty Fletcher. What's the best skill you learnt, Kat, in the army that has been most useful in your life now?
I would 100% say, because of the discipline I learned, I am never late for anything, and people wind me up when they're late. You're given a time. In the army, there used to be a saying, 5 minutes before. So if you're told to be somewhere at 8 o'clock, you're there at 5 to 8. So I would just say discipline and timekeeping.
Yeah, that's a really good one. I mean, that's definitely a good thing to have, isn't it? If you're good at timekeeping and everything like that. So going back to you know, competing again. So what made you come back after a 12-year break? What was the main reason?
Yeah, so for anybody that's watching that doesn't know my pageant past, I was very fortunate. I was Miss England back in 2009, 2010. I got to go to Miss World, which was incredible. Again, the army prepared me for that, because I didn't win Miss England initially. I was the runner-up. And the day before Miss World, I got a phone call to say, unfortunately, the current Miss England's had to step down. This is why runners-up are always important. Could you go to Miss World tomorrow for 8 weeks? The army and me, I just stepped off an assault course. I was covered in mud, and I was like, I just need to scramble things together. And I genuinely think the army helped me massively, because I didn't have dresses fitted. I was like a jumble sale contestant. But I just went and just got on with it and thought, do you know what? I'm getting to have this incredible opportunity of going to South Africa for 8 weeks. I'm going to be one of a handful of girls from England that's been to have this opportunity. Let's just roll with it. But yeah, I had a fantastic time. And after that, we all know, anyone watching this that loves pageants, they are so addictive. But after competing in Miss World, I got married, I had kids, and it's sort of, where do you go from there? Because, you know, Miss World, Miss Universe, they're all big ones. And I always say to girls, when girls ask me for advice competing, you shouldn't compete unless you're prepared that you might not win. Because reality is, you're probably not going to win. It might be a competition with 50 contestants in, only one girl's going to win. You've always got to be in it, like I was saying before about the journey. You've got to be in it for another reason, because there's got to be more than just winning. And in truth, after Miss England, and I hold my hands up, I wasn't prepared to lose. You know, it would have broke my heart entering a competition and not winning. However, last year, 2020 came about, the Ms. Great Britain competition went out. I saw this competition that was for older women, all shapes and sizes. I watched it and I thought, wow, there's plus size women competing in this. There's short, tall, there's older women. And I thought, wow, this is an opportunity for me to compete again. And it sounds very cliche, but me competing again, it's a way for me to learn to stop comparing myself to the person I was when I was Miss England. Because I think for a very long time, I've looked back on those photos. I've looked back on that fantastic year I had. I've always been self-conscious, but I look at me then and I look at myself now and compare myself. But actually, women in their 30s, you're not meant to look how you did in your 20s. And sorry, because I'm going to say this, although parts of my body might have gone south, and we all know what I'm meaning here, my heart's still in the right place and I still have a lot to offer. Thank God for push-up bras.
That's it. But you know, you look amazing. You do look amazing. You looked amazing then. You look amazing now. This is the thing. You look absolutely stunning. So you never have to like worry about that. You're going to absolutely smash it.
Yeah, but
I've got a question for you.
Sorry, I'm talking over you. When I was a pageant title holder before, one of the big things that I said was, and we try and push this as a pageant community, it is not all about looks. It's about who you are as a person. And weirdly, I forgot that. So I need to remember it again too.
Yeah, that's a very important point to make, though. This is what I mean. Is systems these days, they are so diverse. You know, you can have women from all different shapes and sizes, ages, and it's just so important. But I think it's just lovely to see as well. It's just a really good thing now. I think it's, you know, a really good thing that just pretty much anybody could go for it, which is fabulous, and enjoy the journey. So we've got a question from Chloe Lake. Okay, hello, Chloe. What are you most looking forward to in the run up to Miss GB?
Oh, it sounds cheesy, and this is why I think we enter pageants, not necessarily in the run-up. Sorry, I'm digressing again. People know I go off on tangents, so sorry. I think at the competition, I can't wait for that moment. You know, when you walk on stage and everyone goes, cut, 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 whoa! I can't wait for that moment, like, just to go, whoa, I'm here again. But I think in the run-up, for me, I'm looking forward to meeting all the other contestants. I love hearing people's stories and their whys, why they've entered. So I can't wait to meet other people. I can't wait to shift Dave. I'm just looking for me, it's given me over, because I think 2020 is what made me enter again as well, because I thought I need a focus and a goal. So it's given me over lockdown a reason, you know, do my walk, a reason to get out of bed every single day and do a walk. It's given me a reason to actually do my hair and makeup, because I have been in cat dog mode for a very long time over lockdown, hair in a bun, no makeup on. So it gives you a purpose again. So I'm looking forward to that the most.
Oh, that's fantastic. It's really good. But I'm glad 2020, that's the thing, is some people in 2020 I've found are just going for things again, and like, you know, it's for some people it's been quite good. It's just making them do stuff they might not have done maybe if that didn't happen. So we've got Megan Lagia. I don't want to pronounce your name wrong, but Megan, what is your favourite round in a pageant?
Wow. You might have got the idea from me chatting on here, but I am a little bit of a chatterbox and I do love the sound of my own voice. So interview, because for me, it's the most important round, because you can do your hair and makeup and look fantastic, but being a pageant queen is about being a spokeswoman. So I think interviews the most important, and interviews where I can showcase myself when I'm up against supermodels.
To be honest, I had a feeling you might say that. I think I was going to get that one right. Yeah, interviews are great, because that is, you've got like a very short time to get across who you are, but in the best way you can. You're like, this is me in sort of 3 minutes. But it is a really amazing part of the whole pageant, because they get to know you as a person and see your personality. So Kirsty Fletcher's just said yes for the older women. And she's also put, love this stat.
Kirsty's competing in the classic section. So Great Britain has opened up a classic section this year, so for women 40 plus. And I think it's fantastic, because to be honest, I'm in my mid-30s and I was dreading competing against women in their late 20s and thinking, oh God, as I said, my body parts have gone south. So I was thinking, how can I compete with this? But they've opened up a classic section, and it is such a strong section this year. There are some incredible women in it. It's, for me, that's the section to watch this year, because there's some really exciting people in there.
I know, I must admit, I did see that, and I was like, how amazing is that? I mean, like, there's definitely hope for me yet, because I'm like I'll be 43 this year, but I think it's 45 plus, isn't it? I think
it's 40 plus.
Is it 40? Yes.
Yeah.
But I did notice some of the lovely ladies that are entering it, and I just cannot wait to see them on stage. It is a very, very strong category, and they're all just amazing, aren't they? But I just think, how lovely is that? And I just think, it's so nice, because why shouldn't we, as we get older, compete in pageants? Why not? And it's great. I mean, it's just one of those things. I mean, lots of people do different things as they get older, but I think just classic section is one of my favourites. Without out of hey, Kirsty just said, "No way, you're 51." She just said, "I'm 51."
No, she's
Never.
51.
No. That's what I'm saying. Kirsty's 51. I wouldn't have put her at 51. No way. You look amazing for 51. That's incredible. Wow.
Kirsty is absolute goals. I look at her and I think, I need to know what moisturiser she gets and what.
I know, she looks amazing. 51? No.
I'm hoping as I get older that this is just a stage of me having young children where I look a little bit dishevelled, and maybe as I get older I'll start to mature like a fine wine, hopefully.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe, yeah, when the kids are grown up, then that's when you get the sort of dishevelled look at the minute while the kids are like there. And then you get better as you get older. Does that happen, do you reckon? I'm hoping. Like a fine wine, that'd be great. So, oh, bless. Annabelle put, "Oh my goodness, I didn't think either of you were even 40. You're both beautiful." Oh, thank you, Annabelle. That's very, very kind. I think the ring light's helping a little bit though with me.
So, yeah. Anyone watching this? We had a bit of ring light drama before, because we were like, I was saying back in my day we didn't use ring lights, and I was like, I didn't know about all this lighting, and social media wasn't even really a thing, and then now everyone does ring lights, and I've tried to be cool and use a ring light tonight, but it did take me about 20 moves around the room to get it properly.
Yeah, I completely hear you with that one. It was quite amusing, actually, just moving our ring lights around a bit, getting set up there. That was hilarious.
My phone kept collapsing because I couldn't work out how to use the tripod thing. But this is the other thing. Pageants have changed so much since when I last competed. I was saying to you earlier, appearances weren't a thing. Whereas I'm having to put together a publicity folder and stuff, and I'm having to message all my thank you if anyone's watching, all my younger pageant friends, and go, what do you do with these appearance folders then? I haven't got a clue what to do. But pageants have changed so much even in the last 12 years.
Wow. So what did you have to do sort of 12 years ago? Because I wouldn't have known at all. I mean, I must admit, I agree with you with the pageant sort of appearance folders, because I mean, I remember when I first did mine on my first year, I took in a handwritten 15-page one, and then I turned up and was like, oh, maybe I meant to type these. But what was it like, 12 years ago? What did you have to do? Did you do any appearances, or was it?
Yeah, we used to do a lot together in the run-up. So I remember my first thing, which probably was appearances, but we didn't see them as that. My first, when I first entered Miss England, my first thing I had to go to was a bikini launch on the King's Road. And Holly, who runs Galaxy now, was my first pageant friend that I met at it. And I turned up, and she was an absolute pro and took me under her wing. And there was me all dishevelled, turning up like, I've got it here because I'm constantly zhuzhing my hair, my comb, like zhuzhing my hair and stuff. People told me tricks back then of like putting Vaseline down the middle of your legs and on your teeth. I didn't have a blooming clue what to do. But yeah, we did do things like that. So we would all come together for events like that, shoots, charity things, but you would pick a charity yourself. And I know some pageants like Yemi do that now, but you'd pick a charity yourself. But really, it was more all judged on the night when you turned up. It wasn't, you didn't arrive with an appearance folder or publicity or anything. It was all judged on the night as such. What has changed a lot, and weirdly, I'm excited to do it now, but I don't know if you know, shameless plug here, people, but I know you bought my book this week, so you'll read all about this. Anyone who hasn't bought my book, it is available on Amazon and eBay. It's about £3 now, where it's 12 years old. But Combat's the Catwalk, here we are. But I actually got the swimwear round banned from Miss England and Miss World, because back then you used to walk on stage and they'd read your measurements as you walked, and they'd be like, Kat Hodge is a 32 double D, and you should be thinking, right now everyone's staring at my boobs, 24-inch waist and 34, and it was like a meat factory. So for me, I campaigned to get it removed from Miss England and Miss World, because their ethos is beauty with a purpose, and it's all about being a spokeswoman and a charity role model. And I couldn't understand why you had to be the best person in a swimsuit to do that. However, I've now watched competitions 12 years on, and the swimwear is sort of like the pinnacle of people's fitness. So actually, I'm quite looking forward to doing it because it's changed so much. Oh,
yeah,
Claire Beebe,
that's it. Right, so yeah, I've got Claire Beebe has just put, Kat, you inspire so many pageant girls, me included, but who's your biggest pageant inspiration? And also before that, Jen Atkin did put best book ever. So we're like,
oh, bless her.
So yeah, so who was your biggest pageant inspiration?
If I'm honest, when I'm going to sound really bad, but when I entered a pageant, I had no clue about pageants at all. I would say if I had to pick one, it probably would be Holly, because she took me under her wing. When I entered Miss England, having been in the army, I couldn't even walk in high heels. I had absolutely no clue. My first year in Miss England, I remember I was backstage burping. Yeah, I'm not very ladylike. Picking my knickers out my bum and wedgies and things. And Holly and her mum took me under their wings and guided me on the path of how to be a lady and some hints and tips. So yeah, Holly, because she was an incredible pageant girl. She probably should have been a Miss England because she was always Miss England in my eyes. Yeah, so Holly.
Oh, she's an absolutely lovely lady, isn't she? She's incredible. So that's amazing. So obviously we know about some of your hobbies of the book and everything. We have got another question just popped up, so I'll ask you that. Oh, it's just disappeared. So I'll ask you something else. Megan has put up, what advice would you give someone who's on the fence about competing again? I'm torn.
Right, Megan, for a start, you're one of my girls, so you need to pick up the phone and talk to me and I'll give you a pep talk. But just go for it. As I said before, don't have regrets in life, because in 5 years' time, you can look back and think, what if? And don't ever think, what if? Just go for it. You know, at the end of the day, it's an absolutely fantastic hobby. Don't take it too seriously. Don't go into it and think, God, I've got to win this, and obviously be focused on winning, and you've got to want to win, but it can't be the be all and end all. And I think when people enter, my dog's tapping at the door. Sorry, go away, Cookie. He's tapping, he's like, let me into this interview. I want a bit of the action. It's all I can hear is scratching at the door, so sorry. It's putting me off. But yeah, go into it with the right frame of mind. Don't go in it with the intention only to win. But Megan, you need to go for it.
Yeah, go on, Megan, go for it. You know you want to. That's the thing, it's a very important advice there, that you do go into competition. I mean, every year, the best bit is for me is actually just the whole journey. And I think the journey of pageants is incredible, because you can just develop so much as a person. And then you've got the people you meet and everything like that. And then your moment on stage. There's just so many elements to it that is just amazing. So, okay, we've got another question for you. So Jessica Barkley says, swimwear is my fave round after lockdown, but I'm glad Yemi doesn't have one. Oh, so Yemi doesn't have a swimwear round.
Yeah, there's lots of competitions that don't. I think competitions, it depends what they're looking for in a winner, and every single competition has their own ethos of what they're looking for. Exactly. So Yemi, for whatever reason, I know they're quite charity based, you know, they might have a reason why they don't need to do swimwear. And ultimately, I think to be a role model, you don't need to be the person whose bum and boobs are in the right place. It doesn't really matter. Thankfully, I have looked there and I can't wait. Great Britain, the judging is judged on personality and confidence. So fingers crossed, I'm going to be able to show my personality on stage. And then it won't matter about the fact that my bum's sagging a bit. I might have to reverse back when I do the swimwear round so that it goes top my bum.
No. You look incredible, honestly. So I've got another question for you. What's been your best experience during your pageant journeys?
Yeah,
you've had a few.
Yeah, I know this one. So when I went to Miss World in South Africa, we got to go and build an orphanage. And meeting the children and realizing what all your culmination of charity work and things, and you know, just seeing that in front of you was such a rewarding experience that will remain with me forever. There was a little boy, and I'll share it if anybody cares enough. I'll share a picture of him, but he was a little baby that I fell in love with in South Africa, and I've stayed in contact with his family and know that he's now been adopted in Ireland. And so it's that rewarding part of pageants that you realise that that's what it's all about.
Oh, that is absolutely lovely. That must mean so much to you. That's just such a nice story, because that's the thing is, you know, you do have these moments, and you know, when you're really helping people and things like that, it just really, really gets to your heart, doesn't it? It's so, so nice. Another question for you. Any advice for the young teen girls competing?
Yeah, I would say, again, just absolutely go for it. It's all a learning curve. And one thing I would say is I'm not the person I was a year ago. I'm not the person I was 5 years ago. As a teenager, don't put a pressure on yourself to be perfect. And I think I've even learned that along the way. When I was Miss England, sometimes I would speak with a posher voice because I thought that's what people would expect of a pageant queen. Remain true to yourself. You know, accept that everyone makes mistakes in life, and throughout your life you can change as a person. So just be you as a teen, and you know, don't focus if your goal's on Miss Universe or winning Miss England or Miss Galaxy, don't focus on that right now. Just focus in the moment on what you're competing in as a teen.
That's really good advice there, because I think it's just so important to stay true to yourself. That's it. You just got to be yourself, because there's only one you, isn't there? So yeah. You know, and you've even got Dave as well. But you're thinking about getting rid of Dave. I'm quite upset about losing Dave here. Honestly, that's tickled me today.
Yeah, this is the thing I was explaining it earlier, that I decided to call my chin Dave, because if you give it a name, it's almost like people used to talk like, oh, for God's sake, Dave. And I was like, do you know what? I'm going to call my chin Dave, because then if I focus on it with a name, I can go, it's time to go, Dave. Get rid of you, Dave. So advice for anyone that's got a double chin, and I know we all have them, and bad angles, pick a name and it might help get rid of it.
I'm definitely taking you up on that one.
I'm nervously laughing because I obviously, on what we're on, I can't see who's tuned in or whatever, and there's probably people that don't know me. If you know me, you'll know that I'm completely bonkers and I have good banter, and I'm the first person to take the mickey out of myself. I'm not mentally deranged, so I'm sorry about the Dave stuff, because not everyone gets my sense of humour.
Oh, you've got a great sense of humour. We really enjoy it. So, okay, so one last question. So obviously you've written a book, but do you have any other hobbies as well as like pageants and writing books and being in the army and things like that? Is there any other hobbies that you do that we haven't mentioned yet?
Oh yeah, I have really crazy weekends. You know, I have to clean up after my kids and do their washing, and I also run an unpaid taxi firm called Cat's Cabs when Corona's not on, where I have to drive them around to events. Jokes aside. So yeah, my kids have kind of taken over my hobby time, and that's why, to be honest, I love pageants, because even if I go to judge one or to go and watch one for one night only, I feel like I'm Cat again, and I forget, you know, dirty washing and Mum, I'm hungry, and all those sort of things. And I think anyone that's a mum will understand that. I think when you become a mum, sometimes you can lose yourself a little bit. And in truth, I probably have lost myself in becoming a mum. So doing this again has given me a focus to be Cat again. But yeah, musical theatre though, jokes aside, I love going to shows. My dream before going in the army, I went to the Brit School and I wanted to be on the West End. I realised that I was probably more likely going to end up at Butlins as a red coat, because my talents weren't quite good enough for the West End. So yeah, musical theatre is a massive hobby of mine, but otherwise I don't have time for hobbies.
I know what you mean. Yeah, children do take over, but that's a good thing about pageants. It's like you said, you've got you time, and it's like even myself, you know, when the swimming pools are open again. That's why I like to swim an hour a day or something like that, just so you just have that little break from the sort of normality of being a parent. Being a parent's fantastic, it's amazing, but it's nice just to have those bits you can do for yourself as well, isn't it? Which is always
as
lovely.
well. I think until you become a parent, even though I love the sound of my own voice, until you become a parent, you don't realise. For me, I love just sitting. The dog's at the door again, sorry. I love just sitting and going, oh, what's that? Silence. No TV on, no nothing. I love sitting in silence because it doesn't happen enough.
No, that's it. I completely appreciate that as well. It is quite nice, isn't it? That's why I think it's nice. I think the first thing I'm going to do after lockdown is run away to a spa for a day, maybe. Get in a flotation tank, stay there for a week. That'll be it. So, but anyway, Katrina, it has been amazing to speak with you this evening. I have absolutely loved it. We've got another question popped up before we disappear. Jessica's just said, do you have any other fundraising or events planned at the moment?
I always have something up my sleeve. So tomorrow I am doing, I don't know if anyone's seen them before, but I have done a few Dyson Airwrap raffles. So you can either win a Dyson Airwrap or £450 cash. I'm raising funds for Cancer Research UK and Alex's Wish, which are my chosen charities for Ms. Great Britain. So I will be doing raffles. I know that when I finish my 874-mile walk/run, I'll need something else to do. So never say never. The competition isn't until September. So I knowing me, I'll be jumping out of aeroplanes and all sorts, but I always like to do something random. Sorry, because I keep talking so much. I once did a thing where I went on every roller coaster in the UK in one day. So I started up at Blackpool, then I went to Alton Towers. I feel like, you know, I'm not that normal person that can just make some cakes and sell them. I've always got to think of something extra. So watch this space, and I will think of other things because I'm just on a mission. I because of being an ex-title holder as well, I don't want to be complacent. And I want to do well in every round in the competition so that hopefully if I'm successful or even come, you know, top 5 or top 10, I don't want anybody to go, oh, it's because she's competed before. I want people to go, gosh, she really worked hard for that.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. But go back to these roller coaster things. Hang on one moment, yeah. If you do that again, can you take me, please? Because that sounds like my ideal thing there.
Honestly, it was the funniest thing ever. Because I arranged it with all the theme parks. So I spoke to Merlin and they basically gave me a pass where I could just run in because I had to drive all over the country. I could run in and do it. But yeah, I always pick really random things to do.
Oh, that's it. We'll just another comment there. Normal is the cruelest of all insults.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah,
what even is normal?
But yeah, I mean, I must admit myself. I mean, I did a skydive and I've done a firewalk, and I prefer to do that because I mean, I can't even probably bake cakes very well. I'm not really a cook, so that would be more sort of my sort of thing. I mean, the roller coaster thing sounds great. You've got me thinking now.
How was the firewalk?
The firewalk was great, actually, apart from what happened at the end, because I came off the firewalk bit and put my foot on the cold, wet grass into a slug. So I had a slug on my foot, and that was worse than the firewalk. No, the firewalk was fine. I'd recommend it to anyone. It's great. You just got to be focused and just do it, and it was great because it's for a local hospice in Somerset, and for a really, really good cause. It was a freezing cold night, but fantastic thing to do. Fantastic. One thing I recommend you do. Yeah, definitely go for it. Definitely go for it. So anyway, it has been so lovely to speak to you tonight. Thank you so much for coming on. It's been wonderful to talk to you. You're just such an interesting lady, and we wish you all the best for the finals. And when are we? Do we know when the finals are yet? Is everything sort of?
Yeah, so there's a date in September. It's provisionally booked for the 16th and 17th of September. Obviously, COVID dependent. But fingers crossed it goes ahead.
Oh, lovely. Kirsty Fletcher's a fantastic cat, but best of luck. And here from Pageant Land and myself and everyone, we wish you the best of luck. We're all going to be cheering you on. We'll be like this. Ray! I like might get a sign like with a chin on that says Dave. Like, come on. So no, it's been a pleasure having you on, and hopefully we will be there to support you very soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Take care. Bye. Oh, it's been an absolute pleasure to have Katrina Hodge on this week. She's been absolutely amazing. Such an interesting lady. So next week, we have got the lovely on Queen's Table, Lauren Parkinson, Miss World Wales finalist. That's again next live on Facebook, and next Thursday, also live on YouTube at 7:30. So we're going to be looking forward to that. So thank you, everybody. And next, another thing is head over to Care What You Consume on Facebook or Instagram, because they're doing a Pledge to Your Planet international litter pick on the 14th of February, trying to get as many girls in as they can. So the 14th of February, picking litter for an hour. Go to Care What You Consume and look into that, because that's going to be an amazing thing to do, and also an appearance for you ladies, and also you're doing good for the planet. So thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you next week on Queen's Table.